Good evening. My name is Alvin Turner, and I'm the Vice Chair of the Newton County Board of Education. Welcome to the 2015 Newton County School System Employee Retirement Dinner. We're pleased to have you here with us tonight as a number of retirees from the school system and central office departments. Please allow me to introduce our board members in attendance this evening. We have Mr. Stan Edwards, District 1. Mr. Eddie Johnson, District 2. Ms. Shaquila Henderson Baker, District 3. And Ms. Abigail Coggins, who was not able to be with us tonight to some previous engagements. She represents District 5. First, I would like to take the opportunity to introduce our system administrators present also this evening. Please welcome Superintendent Samantha Ferry, Deputy Superintendent Dr. Craig Lockhart, Director of Human Resources, Ms. Nyree Sanders, Business Manager Peggy Bullitt, and Erica Robinson, Director of Operations Services, Ms. Jan Loomis, Director of Support Services, Mr. Mike Barr, and Director of Public Relations, Ms. Sherry Davis Vigna. Again, we welcome you and hope that you enjoy this special evening.
Good evening. Please continue your dinner as we begin the formal part of our program. I'm getting ready to ask our board members to come forward at this time, which I just told them I wasn't going to, and they're still trying to finish their dinners. But if you would come forward and have a seat. This year we have a total of 48 employees retiring from our school system. Collectively they have 964 years of service. Incredibly, we have 9 employees who are retiring with more than 30 years of service. Tonight, as we honor 29 of the 48 employees who are retiring, I want to recognize those who are unable to attend our reception this evening. I'd like for us to show our appreciation to them by me announcing their names before we get started. Brenda Allen, who works in transportation, 14 years of service. Gary Allen, transportation, 13 years of service. Gail Bemis, Livingston Elementary School, 37 years of service. Helga Castile, West Newton Elementary, 20 years of service. Terry Cox, Clements Middle School, 19 years of service. Michael Keith Davis, Newton High School, 26 years of service. Neva Gormley, Indian Creek Middle School, 19 years of service. Rhonda Kiblinger, Indian Creek Middle School, 23 years of service. Audrey Klimbach, Rocky Plains Elementary, 18 years of service. Angela Marks, Eastside High School, 32 years of service. Linda Martin, Transportation, 10 years of service. Linda Nevers, Professional Learning, 16 years of service. Carolyn Norrington, East Newton Elementary, 10 years of service. Evelyn Shirley, Porterdale Elementary, 10 years of service. I'm sorry, Evelyn was 26 years of service. Beth Sullivan, Cousins Middle School, 32 years of service. Sylvia Terrell, Transportation, 11 years of service. Sherry Thomas, Livingston Elementary, 31 years of service. Mary Ray Weldon, Alcovy High School, 23 years of service. And Linda Zimtowski, South Salem, 14 years of service. Would you please thank these individuals for their service with a round of applause? At this time, I'd like to recognize our 29 retirees in attendance this evening by their school or department. As your principal or supervisor comes to the front with you, please come to my right by way of our board members who would like to shake your hand and offer you congratulations. Then proceed to my left until your principal or supervisor completes his or her remarks. At the end of this reception, you may pick up your engraved retirement gift at the table in the back. We'll begin our recognition ceremony with Dr. Naomi Cobb, principal of Fairview Elementary School, to be followed by the other administrators in order as listed in your program. Dr. Cobb?
Well, we have one retiree, and that is Donna Harris. Donna Harris actually retired in December, so I'm so thankful she came on back to join us tonight. She was our physical education teacher, and I am very honored to have this opportunity to speak about Coach Harris, because that's what we all call her, is Coach Harris. She has 26 years in education, and 24 of those years have been in Newton County. She started at Fickwood Elementary, and that's where I met her. And then when we closed Fickwood down that year, she chose to come over to the New View with us, and we were so glad that she did, because it wouldn't have been the same without her. You know, usually when you hear the word coach, as Coach Harris, it conjures up a mental image or some thoughts about subpar teaching. The media, movies, TV, they portray coaches generally as those subpar teachers. Well, if they knew Coach Harris, they would have to write those scripts differently, because Coach Harris is anything but a subpar teacher. I've said many times to many different people that I would put Coach Harris up against any teacher in the school, in the county, or even in the state. She truly was an awesome teacher. She planned her lessons to include the learning that was going on in the classrooms, and I will just give you one quick example. When we were subitizing, when students, and some of you don't know what subitizing is, but we had the dot cards that were different configurations for children to learn the concept of numbers. And so she took these big giant-sized dot cards and put them on the wall in the gym. And she played games with those dot cards. These were their physical activities. They would throw a ball, they'd get in a line, and the kindergarten students, when they would hit the dot card, they would have to say the number that the dots represented. As they got older, they might have to hit 2 cards, and they would have to add those. And then even older, maybe multiply those numbers that they hit. That's just one simple little example of how she, in her gym, in her lessons, would do anything she could to reinforce the learning that was going on in the classrooms. She chaired a SACS committee for us. That's how much I thought of Coach Harris and trusted her. She did an awesome job with that. She just did many things, wrote grants, and did community things such as Jump Rope for Heart, the hoop shoot, and just different things. But one last thing, in addition to being such an outstanding teacher and educator, she is just a wonderful human being. In the 5 years that I've been able to know Coach Harris, she has truly endeared herself to me. She is so kind and gentle and just caring. She's the most positive person you could meet. If we had any initiative going on, she wholeheartedly embraced it and implemented it with no questions asked, and just had a positive attitude about it. So, needless to say, we will definitely continue to miss you, Coach Harris, because you're a very special person. We wish you the best.
That's right. Very good. I want you to step over this.
Hi, I'm Marquita Wilkins. You see, I need Ms. Moki so much she's standing here to do her own speech. It's really with sincere pleasure that I stand before you to recognize Sharon Moki. She's absolutely one of the most beautiful women I know, for her years of dedicated service to Newton County Schools. Ms. Moki has been a bookkeeper at Hurd Mixon for 10 years. Prior to coming to Hurd Mixon, she worked at Porterdale part-time in the office for 2 years. She worked as a substitute teacher. Can't hear me? Thank you. Thanks, Doc. She worked as a substitute teacher for 5 years in Newton County and Gwinnett County. And for 12 years, she was an office manager at Ford. Those are the jobs Ms. Moki held, but there is so much to whom she is as a person. As I searched my heart for the words that could perfectly capture her essence, the ones that continually came to my mind were from Proverbs 31:29. Many daughters have done well, but you excel them all. Ms. Moki approaches everything she does with the spirit of excellence. From the way she loves God, her family and friends, and the many, many, many responsibilities she has at Hurd Mixon each day. If her hand touches it, perfection is guaranteed. One example of this is her impeccable bookkeeping. Many of you know each year we have to send out books for internal audit review. And each year, our books come back with the word stating, excellent condition of accounting records. It has been said that, Ms. Moki has been said that every job is a self-portrait of the person who does it. Thank you for autographing your work with excellence. I love you, and I'm thankful that I was blessed with the opportunity to know you and to work beside you. While your presence will be missed, you will always be a Hurd Mixon superstar. Congratulations, Ms. Moki.
You just hold your hand again. Which way do you want to go?
Let's go back this way.
You want to walk that or that?
Good evening, everyone. I'm Michael Forehand. I'm the principal at Middle Ridge Elementary School. This lovely lady to my left is Miss Kathy Wilkerson. She was our bookkeeper at Middle Ridge Elementary School. And you know, the school bookkeeper is not someone you want on your bad side. They are the holder of the checkbook. We know how important it is to keep our money well documented. I have to admit, when I first started at Middle Ridge, I was a little intimidated by Miss Kathy. Anytime I wanted to spend money, I thought, oh, I gotta ask her to spend this money. And like a good husband, I did ask her if it was okay for me to spend some money. She ran a tight ship, and I think we all liked it that way. I could not have asked for a better listener, a kinder heart, or a harder worker. When we began to search for her replacement, I said, Miss Kathy, I just want you to write down everything that you do so we can make sure that we get all those things covered. 6 pages later, she put her pen down. And so we had very big shoes to fill. I am thankful to call Miss Kathy my friend. I'm so glad that Dr. Watley found you at Chick-fil-A 17 years ago and asked you to come work at our school system. Ms. Kathy, on behalf of the Board of Education, the faculty, the staff, the students of Newton County Schools, thank you for your 17 years of service, and we love you.
Thank you.
Good evening, I'm Brenda Gammons. I'm principal at Oak Hill Elementary, and I have the privilege of introducing Miss Cynthia Spearman. Miss Spearman graduated from Georgia College at Milledgeville with a BS in Social Studies. She first worked at First United Methodist Preschool for 5 years, but then she came to Newton County, has been here 17 years. She has been a paraprofessional at Fairview, a media center paraprofessional and pre-K teacher at Middle Ridge, and at Oak Hill since its inception in 2001. She's been a media center parapro, a kindergarten parapro, a special education parapro, and then she decided, well, doggone it, let's go back and just add on a teaching certification. So she's been co-teaching for the past 8 years. Miss Spearman is from the old school. If we have a parent that wasn't able to come in or for various reasons couldn't sign special ed paperwork, Miss Spearman would just get in her car, make a home visit. Just like it used to be. If someone was out, we couldn't get in touch, the phone numbers weren't working, Miss Spearman, she'd get in her car, go out, make a home visit. We're going to greatly miss Miss Spearman at Oak Hill. But another thing you should know about Miss Spearman is she's very community involved. She is a very active member of Pilot Club, which helps service many different things here in Newton County. In her retirement, she looks to become a governor of Pilot Club and wants to continue her service to Newton County. Again, we are going to miss Miss Spearman a great deal at Oak Hill. Thank you.
Good evening. Good evening. It gives me a great pleasure and honor to celebrate with you and introduce our honorees of the Porterdale Elementary School. Miss Joy Toms has taught for 28 years. She has taught from 2nd through 8th grade. She's taught in Mississippi, in Louisiana, and in Georgia. And she has been at Porterdale for a total of 13 years and has done a fantastic job of educating our children. Ms. Toms has the ability to work with all students. She can get those, what we call difficult students, to learn and to behave, and she does it without ever raising her voice. And she works with kids that other teachers find difficult to work with. We don't find that difficulty in Miss Joy Toms' room, and we still want to know what that secret is. When asked, what are your outside interests, Miss Toms responds, grandchildren, grandchildren, grandchildren. She has 4 beautiful grandchildren, and she has been married to Mr. Randy Toms for 43 years. They have 2 sons, and she is blessed to have her mom, who just turned 90, and her dad, who just turned 91. And Ms. Toms plans on spending more time with her grandchildren and family as she retires. We will miss Ms. Toms' dedication and how she works with children, her commitment. Thank you, Ms. Toms, for blessing us and blessing our children. Our next honoree is Miss Pat Bentley, Dr. Pat Bentley. Dr. Bentley is our gifted teacher and has taught at Porterdale for the past 9 years, although she's taught at other schools in the county. She works diligently educating our students. She has 22 years in education total. Dr. Bentley plans on traveling, gardening, and just relaxing when she retires. Dr. Bentley has enjoyed teaching over the years and have enjoyed watching her students grow to be successful. We will miss seeing Dr. Bentley working with the students and working on various projects at the school and around the school, such as our yearbook and the Beta Club. Thank you, Dr. Bentley, for the lives that you have touched. We will certainly miss you. And last but not least, we have Mr. Charles Brown. We affectionately call him Charlie Brown. He's our efficient custodian, and when I say efficient, that is an understatement. Mr. Brown has worked in Newton County for 10 years. He's married to his beautiful bride, Miss Dora Brown, for 36 years, and he has 2 beautiful daughters, Veronica and Christy. Mr. Brown takes great pride in his work. He knows that the first impression is so important, and many times that's the last impression, and that is why he works so hard to keep our school squeaky clean. Many of you know that Porterdale has a reputation of being one of the cleanest schools in the system, and that is largely due to Mr. Charles Brown. He's very dependable. He takes pride in his work. He takes his job seriously. And I appreciate when I'm there at night, long nights, Mr. Brown runs me out of the building. But he not only runs me out of the building, he walks me to my car and closes my door. He's indeed a gentleman. He's a lifelong learner. He's always asking questions, and he it's never a dull minute at Porterdale with Mr. Brown. Mr. Brown also mentors some of our students. Mr. Brown, we will miss you dearly. We will miss all 3 of these wonderful individuals dearly. They are what we call old school. And old school is a good school. Did I hear amen? I heard an amen. And these 3 people are old school. They're committed. They're dedicated. They always go that extra mile to get the job done. We will miss you on behalf of Porterdale's faculty and staff. We love you. We wish you Godspeed, and we hope that you truly will enjoy your retirement, but please come back to see us. God bless you. Thank you.
Not Dr. Miranda Jones. Her retiree could not be here tonight due to a family emergency, so I am Holly DuBois. I'm the principal at South Salem, and I just want to say, I don't know if any of the chefs are still here or the servers, but this is my 2nd meal this week here, and I just think I could come back every day. They just do a fabulous job. So impressive with what they do here at the Career Academy. It is certainly my honor and pleasure this evening to be here to celebrate Deborah Ford's retirement. Deborah has 21 years in education. I've known her for the last 17 years. When I first started at Fairview 17 years ago, Miss Ford was one of the first members that I really got to know. She went out of her way to welcome me to Fairview, help me fit in, learn the Fairview way, and was just always there to help me in any way she could, which, let me just say, was all the time. Then 7 years ago, when I opened South Salem, Deborah was one of the first people I went to and said, okay, you coming with me? And she did, and she's still been helping me all this time. Deborah is just one of those special people who can do anything. If I had $1 for every time I said, Miss Ford, could you please help me? Miss Ford, could you do this? Could you do that? I could have retired 10 years ago. She's always been there. Miss Ford's career has always been as a special ed parapro. And she has truly been the biggest advocate that I know for special needs children. She went out of her way to make sure that her kids were always out there, always getting what they needed, always making their AR goal. Didn't matter if they could read or not. She was going to determined they were going to get that AR goal and go out and get their pizza as their surprise. She always made sure that those kids were included, whether it be the PTO program, a field trip, awards. She always helped the rest of the staff remember that those special children were just like everybody else. And they owe her a great deal of gratitude. I can't begin to tell you how many special ed banners that she made and won the prize for. She's a little competitive just like me. Fairview and South Salem always had the most awesome floats for the Special Olympics parade. And I just cannot begin to tell you the many, many times that I've asked Deborah, can you help me with the bulletin board? Can you help me with the teacher luncheon? Can you help me with this? Can you help me with that? Never once did she say no. She was always there. When I called for volunteers, she'd be the first one at my door. I don't know how South Salem's going to carry on without you. I don't know how I'm going to carry on without you, but you've been a wonderful friend, a wonderful parapro, and a wonderful friend to our children and to Newton County. You deserve a wonderful retirement. I want you and Miss Ballard to behave yourselves. And if you ever want to see Deborah, you can find her down at the Newton County Senior Center. And she takes wonderful art classes, and she can just do anything down there. So congratulations, Deborah. I'm very proud of you.
Good evening. My name is Gabriel Burnett, interim principal at Cousins Middle School. It is my pleasure to introduce our retirees, Ms. Katie Sims and Ms. Brenda Dixon. Ms. Katie Sims is retiring after 36 years of service. She currently serves as a front office administrative assistant. She started her career in Newton County in 1991 as a Title I paraprofessional and has worked at Cousins Middle School front office assistant since 2002. Ms. Brenda Dixon is a math teacher retiring after 17 years of service. She left Henry County in 2005 and started teaching in Newton County. She taught math at Veterans Memorial before transferring to Cousins in 2008, where she taught for 7 years before deciding to retire this year. Ladies, I wish you all the best as you close this chapter in your lives and embark upon a new chapter. May God bless each of you graciously. Thank you for your dedication and service. In closing, I would like to leave you with these words. You are retiring, saying goodbye to tension and hello to pension. We love you and we will miss you at Cousins Middle School.
My name is Renee Mallard, and I'm the principal at Indian Creek Middle School, and we're here to celebrate one of the retirees, Ms. Gail Jones. I remember when I first met Gail, I had just been named the principal at Indian Creek Middle School. It was April, and I decided I would stop by the Indian Creek Relay for Life tent. And I visited, and Gail talked my ear off and told me all sorts of stories about the school and her partner in crime at work, Sarah, and the work that they did and how excited they were for the new school year to start. And I thought, who is this woman? And then when I started at Indian Creek, I found out exactly who she was. She was someone who was there for the children. She works with special education students, and she is their advocate. She works hard and diligently and makes sure that they get everything that they need. And she comes into my office and hasn't been afraid to ask for certain things or check with me in the hallway and say, can we do this, can we do that? And it's just been so exciting to see how much she's done with these students at our school. Now, she's been to a few schools. She was at Sharp and Salem and Memorial, but the last 16 years she was at Indian Creek Middle School with us. And it is nothing to see her helping raise money for Relay for Life. It is nothing to see her sitting on the floor in the hallway with a circle of children around her doing work. It's nothing to see her staying after school with our after school program or coming in on a Saturday when we've had Saturday Academy and just giving extra time to the children at Indian Creek. And they love her, and she loves them. And it has been a joy to work with her. She is fun to work with, and that's something that is just easy to say because it's true. I have enjoyed my time with Gail Jones. I know that she is going to be missed. I hope she misses us just a little bit. She'll be spending her time with her family, with her dad, with her farm. She has a daughter and a son, and she added another thing to her resume last year as wedding planner and coordinator. So if she can pull that off, I know that she can do anything. And we will miss you, and I know your best partner at school, Sarah, will miss you too. So come back and visit, and we will be there. But thank you for everything that you've done for us.
Good evening. My name is Phil Davidson. I'm one of the assistant principals at Alcovy High School. And Dr. Owens was not able to be here this evening, but it is my immense privilege to be here to introduce Fran Coyle, because Fran Coyle and I are friends. We came to the county about the same time. We came from the same place. We taught a number of years together before I got into administration, and so we had the opportunity to teach a lot of the same kids. And her kids adored her. Absolutely adored her. When they weren't complaining about her forcing them to write correctly, and her standards and how she wanted to pass the writing test. And in meetings, she was always 3 steps ahead of everybody, always well planned out, and a very exceptional teacher. But it wasn't until I got into administration that I realized her true value. Fran is the person you go to when you needed something done and done correctly. She managed our BEST program flawlessly. She took control of our SACS accreditation last year and managed all the data and the meetings and everything that went around with it. And I could always go to her when we had a teacher that was having problems in the classroom. She would go down there, she would watch them, she would give them feedback, she would come back to me and tell me what we could do to help them out. And I really appreciate that. And she was a former administrator and wasn't scared to come in and close the door and let me know if I had made a mistake or was about to make a mistake. She did it very lovingly, never called me a doofus to my face, and always had a solution and always wanted to be part of implementing that solution. And so she is irreplaceable. I know because since she retired in January, we spent 5 months trying to replace everything that she does. So I just thank you for all you've done for me and everything you did from Alcovy, and you are missed.
Thank you. Thank you, Newton County.
Good evening. I'm Jeff Cherr, principal of Eastside High School, and I have an amazing honor to show before you three superstars. First, I want to introduce Ms. Faye Putz to you. Stand for Ms. Faye. She retires with 21 years of service in education. She is taught at Newton High School and at Eastside High School. Ms. Putz is a French teacher. And for many foreign language teachers, the focus, the objective is to teach vocabulary, grammar, pronunciation, which she did. But really, her education, her instruction went far beyond those things. In fact, I've never been to France, but I've been to Paris because I stepped into her classroom. I've never been to Versailles, but I've never been to France, but I've been to Versailles because I've stepped in her classroom, because she immersed her students. And the entire environment was French, from the way you speak, the way you conduct yourselves, the way you carry yourself, the way you approach things, the way you converse. And so for Ms. Putz, when it came to French, it was more than just a subject, it was a lifestyle. And even beyond that, as a principal, I'm a lifelong learner as well. And from Ms. Putz as a professional, I've learned the amazing power to connect, bond, and to reach that amazing relationship with students where it is a mutual learning environment where she learns from them as a teacher and they learn from her. And I'm just so proud and thankful for her time at Eastside High School, and I wish her all the best moving forward. Next, Mr. Richard Olds. Now, Mr. Richard Olds is a special education teacher, but he is a special education teacher because he provides special education. And what I mean by that is that there's some people that deliver communication. There's some people that deliver truth. And there's others that both deliver and live truth. And Mr. Olds carries himself and has carried himself for the last 10 years at Eastside High School with dignity, professionalism, amazing accomplishments in the classrooms to meet the needs of students, to offer that type of special attention when needed, that special discipline when needed, and always dependable and always in an honoring manner. Mr. Olds has recently just shared with me that he's going into the insurance business as he retires from Eastside, and I need him to understand, again, as I have learned from him, that he is leaving the assurance business at Eastside. Because as a principal, I was assured that things were running well in his classroom all the time. As a principal, I was assured that he was at work every single day with a professional appearance, a professional attire, a professional approach, and an amazing connection with students. And our parents were assured that if the children were in his supervision and direction, that they were safe, they were cared for, and they were taught everything they needed to know. And so I thank Mr. Olds, and I've learned so much from him about stability, integrity, and how to be a true gentleman. And then finally, Miss Beth Smith, for 22 years. There's a book that starts in the beginning, and in the beginning of Eastside, there was Beth Smith, and she was the first person that the principal hired. Mr. Ed Elmore hired her to be his principal secretary, and she has served in that position first with Mr. Elmore, then with Dr. Daria, then following Mr. Roddenberry, and now me. So it's kind of downhill after that first one there, Ms. Smith, as I think the jokes got worse and worse each time with each principal. But Ms. Smith has been the glue that has held the building together. She has definitely been the flowers, the centerpiece on the table through her entire time at Eastside. In fact, there was a clumsy, awkward teacher that arrived a while back, a big oaf of a young man, falling all over himself and needing direction in a time in his life. And direction was given, and not only direction, but a hug, and encouragement, and a smile. And not because Beth Smith cared about me that much, but because Beth Smith cared about everyone that much. And for her, being a secretary was not just a job, it was an opportunity to love and to share her life. And that's what I've learned from her. So for each of these three professionals, these amazing people that have had an impact upon our students, our staff, and me, I want to say thank you, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I have to follow that. I appreciate that. I'm Chad Walker, the principal and CEO here at Newton College and Career Academy. It is a great privilege to be able to talk about my retiree. Some people see the closed door and turn away. Others see a closed door and try the knob. If it doesn't open, they just turn away. Still others see a closed door and try the knob, and if it doesn't open, they find a key. If the key doesn't fit, they turn away. A rare few see a closed door and try the knob, and if it doesn't open, they find a key. And if that key doesn't fit, they make one. Shelly Yateman is a key maker. As an educator for a total of 38 years, 21 years in Newton County, even being named the Teacher of the Year in 2007. Ms. Yateman has made many keys, some of which she has shared with her students for their success, and some which she has used for herself. Tonight I'd like to share with you the many keys that she carries on her key ring. Key 1, passion. Part of the reason for Ms. Yateman's success is the fact that she is passionate about her work. She believes that it's the greatest importance because of the opportunity it gives her to affect the social change by influencing the way our little ones view the world and treat those they share it with. She teaches her students to be the best that they can be and see the best in everybody around them. There is no doubt that she has made a dramatic impact on students' lives as well as society, though teaching this simple lesson over the years. Key 2, conscious discipline. Right next to Ms. Yateman's key for passion is the conscious discipline key. Ms. Yateman is a big believer in this program and has used it with her students over the many of the years. This key also works for high school principals. Yes, Ms. Yateman, thanks to your encouragement, I have checked out Becky Bailey's Conscious Discipline program. In fact, this social emotional program that facilitates teachers in creating school families, where children and teachers can reclaim the joy and helpfulness carrying as a foundation for the educational purpose. Through the use of this program, she makes her classroom a place of safety for her children. She encourages positive social behavior and helps develop our society into one that better values life and high expectations. Key 3, appreciation and teaching through the arts. Ms. Yateman teaches the little ones with a kind of adult she wants them to be. She knows that the children she has the privilege of teaching will be tomorrow's workforce and tomorrow's leaders. She knows that they will need broad abilities beyond technical skills. They will need to be able to be creative, analytical, disciplined, self-confident, people who can solve problems, communicate ideas, and are sensitive to the world around them. Hands-on participation in the arts is a proven way to help develop these abilities, which is why her students have the best teacher in the world when it comes to arts. Key 3, bird observations. One summer, Ms. Yateman participated in a science workshop at Oxford College. And if you've been at any one of the 3 schools that she's been at, she has created various bird observation sites. Because Ms. Yateman, I too have learned to appreciate birds. It has certainly missed the videos and the picture updates every morning to see what's going on in our observational area. Key 4, making a family a priority. Ms. Yateman is truly amazing and strong individual, both for her students and for her family. She is the mother of 2 beautiful and independent and adventurous women. There is no doubt that she has raised them and encouraged them to be this way, along with her late husband. As we celebrate Ms. Yateman's retirement tonight, she and Hank Wise are entering a new chapter in their life together. We wish both of them all the happiness in the world as you carry out the plans to travel the world and enjoy each other's company. The 5th and final key, being the change you wish to see in the world. Ms. Yateman once shared that Gandhi inspired her by this key: being the change you wish to see in the world. Well, Ms. Yateman, in this short time that I've known you, you've inspired me to be the change that you wish to see. You've dreamed of a world where people have mutual respect for one another, so you taught your students to show mutual respect. You dreamed of a world where educators integrate the arts into the lessons in their lives. You have made this happen for your students in your classroom. You have helped develop a world where people know themselves as caring, compassionate people. You can look back at your career and know that you've made the mark on the lives of your children, left and made this world a better place. Thank you, Ms. Yateman.
Good evening. I'm Jan Lumens, Director of Operational Services, and it's my pleasure to introduce you to Ms. Dorothy Levine. Ms. Dorothy has worked as a school nutrition assistant for 14 years in the Newton County school system. She worked at Livingston, Clements, Sharp Learning Center, and Mainstay. In the 9 years that I've known Ms. Dorothy, I have never seen her without a beautiful smile on her face and a sweet, happy personality that shows to everybody what a happy person she is. She has served meals to some of our most difficult students in the school system, the students at Sharp Learning Center and Mainstay, and she never lost her cool no matter what they said to her. She never walked away from them. She treated them with love, respect, and consideration. And I just want to say thank you, Ms. Dorothy, for that. She's a very special person. She's very, very dependable. And she was going to come to work every day unless she was sick. And that will be truly missed by all of us in school nutrition. Ms. Dorothy and her husband of 47 years, Mr. Paul Levine, plan to travel, especially to see their children in Dallas and New York. And they were having a little discussion at the table about whether they were going to do some overseas traveling or not. Miss Dorothy is very adventurous. She's ready to see the world. And Mr. Levine saying, there's lots to see in the United States. I think we need to stay here. So it'll be interesting to see where I get postcards and where they've been. But I just want to say, Miss Dorothy, I will personally miss you greatly. I miss you too. Good luck. Thank you.
I'm Peggy Bullard, and this is Erica Robinson. We're with the business office, and it's no wonder Betty decided to retire. She had two bosses. But we're here to tell the story of Miss Betty Bailey. Once upon a time, the business office of Newton County Schools was run by a handsome young man named Rick Cost. Mr. Cost needed some help in the department, and so he hired Miss Betty Bailey, who did such a great job running the office at East Newton Elementary School. Well, poor Betty, before she could ever get to her first day at the office, Mr. Cost ran off to work for Gwinnett County Schools. And in his place was this tall, gangly, strange woman. That'd be me. Well, Betty could not hide the disappointment on her face on that first day of work. However, she soldiered on, and Betty and I learned our jobs together, and we stressed together, we cried together, we laughed a whole bunch together, and we've spent so much time together, 25 years, that I refer to her as my little sister. And now we have our happy ending. Betty and I get to retire together. But that does not relieve you of the little sister duty. Okay. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Good evening. Tonight I'm always happy to talk about transportation employees, always happy to brag about them. And tonight we've got 6 employees here who have decided to retire. It is true though that a few of these folks decided to retire before the year was over. But tonight is not about any grievances that I may have or grudges that I may hold against them. It's about recognizing their contributions. And I don't want those individuals to worry. Ms. Williams, Ms. Evans, Mr. Adams, and Ms. Sheffield, I do not plan on identifying anybody by name that did leave during the school year. Tonight, we're only here to honor. As I call your name, if you would just raise your hand so they'll know who you are. Brenda Williams, with 13 years of service. And let me just stop for a moment. 13 years of service may not seem like a very long time, but you have to apply a multiplier to that number. It's much like determining the age of a dog. For every year, for a dog, every year is about equal to 7 years. That's what I've been told. Bus drivers, the multiplier is 2.5. It's a scientific formula. When you compare that to any other job, there are different multipliers for different jobs. But bus driver is 2.5, so that equals what, about 32 and a half years of service. So just remember that as we go through, just apply that formula to those years of service. Ms. Williams, for transportation directors, it's equal to dog years, 7 years. Brenda Williams, a great bus driver who handled some long routes for us and many field trips. Your hard work is very much appreciated. Laura Evans, with 10 years of service, a knowledgeable bus driver who also helped to prepare new bus drivers for service. She worked as a trainer for the last couple of years with us and also in the special needs department, and we appreciate your dedication very much. Mr. Adams, Mr. Johnny Adams, with 10 years of service, made sure all the buses were operational and safe for our kids as a mechanic for the school district. We really appreciate everything that you have done. Ms. Dorothy Sheffield, with 16 years of service, a very good bus driver. One important thing to know about Ms. Sheffield is that her bus was actually struck by lightning not one time, but 2 times. This is a true story. And she continued to be a bus driver after both lightning strikes. That did earn her a couple of nicknames, Lightning Bug, Sparky, a couple of things like that. But she was a very good bus driver, and we appreciate her sticking with it despite the adversity. Ms. Cashwell, Ms. Mary Cashwell, 10 years of service, a dedicated bus driver who could always be depended on. Dependability is truly a great characteristic, and we appreciate that greatly. Ms. Augustine Morrow, with 11 years of service, also a very good bus driver who worked a lot to make sure the kids got to school and also many other places on field trips, and we appreciate your service. Thank you all all our retirees tonight for your service to the school district. I truly appreciate it. Thank you.
I'll see you around town. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Craig Lockhart, and I'm the Deputy Superintendent in Newton County. I have the honor of recognizing Miss Kathy Johnson this evening. Ms. Johnson's been in the school system for 13 years. She worked at the board office. Ms. Johnson has worn several hats while working with us at the board office. And one thing that she's done for us is she worked in the mail room. So she made sure that every school was getting their mail and getting all the information that they needed in a timely fashion. Another thing that Ms. Johnson did for us is that she made a lot of school copies during the summer times each year, making sure that everybody got the paperwork that they needed. And she may hold the world record for breaking and repairing more Xerox copiers than anybody in the country. But again, she was right there taking care of the needs of the school system. And just like so many of the people here in this room, Ms. Johnson is just one of those unsung heroes. If she didn't do the work that she did, so many things that are right would not be happening in the school system. So we're really thankful for that. The job that I find most interesting that Ms. Johnson held was that she helped us out a lot at the switchboard. So she answered a lot of phone calls, fielded a lot of phone calls. Now, in the business of education, a phone call is potentially a pipe bomb on the other end of their phone. And see, nowadays we have call ID, you'll see a number pop up, and of course there's no name to it. You have no idea what this number is about. And so if you've ever had to work a switchboard, I personally try to stay away from all telephones. You never know what's going to be on the other end. And we have had people call, and Miss Johnson, she's heard it all. And she has heard them dress her up and down. She's been called everything under the sun, you name it. But she was always the same person. Never rattled. She took it. She was able to calm everybody, do what she needed to do, keep everything stable. And that's the type of person Ms. Johnson is. Very loyal, very consistent, very stable. She was very thorough, very detailed, and we really do appreciate everything that you've done. It's not the same without you. We miss you, and we wish you the very best as you continue your retirement. So thank you for everything, and enjoy your retirement.
Thank you, Dad.
Love you, love you, love you, love you. Miss Peggy, you're supposed to come around this way so I can get right. Oh, thank you so much for everything.
Tonight, I have the honor of paying tribute to 3 outstanding, remarkable, amazing women who have left an indelible mark on the Newton County school system. Miss Peggy Bullard, our Newton County School System Business Manager, Dr. Lizella Dodson, Principal of Porterdale Elementary School, and Ms. Holly Du Bois, Principal of South Salem Elementary School. Together, they have a combined 96 years of experience. 96 years. I would be remiss if I didn't state the obvious. Our school system has benefited greatly due to their vast knowledge and leadership over the years. Each of these ladies has had very successful careers, earning the respect and admiration of their staff and their colleagues and peers. Yet I assure you, if you are, and I am praising them for all of their accomplishments, Peggy, Holly, and Lizella would simply smile, thank you, and then give credit to the employees they have supervised over the years. That's just the way that these ladies are. They are dedicated, driven, and most definitely passionate about their work, and very precise. They have each led by example, giving their very best each day, expecting nothing less in return. They each set high standards for their schools and for the business department in the process, and served as mentors and role models for others. If you want to know how to run a successful school, sit back and watch Holly Du Bois or Lizella Dotson at work. If you want to have a great business department and be a great department leader, shadow Peggy Bullard. There will most definitely be a void when these three ladies leave our school system, but I guarantee you, each of them has already ensured that their schools and their departments, you see that we have 2 business managers, so we've been practicing all year, are in a position to continue on the path of excellence. Again, that's just the way these ladies are. As their supervisors, I will miss their expertise, their advice, because I've asked them all for advice along the many years that I've known all 3 of them, and their willingness to roll up their sleeves and get the job done, and their 100% dedication to our school district. Most importantly, on a personal level, I will miss their friendship. I've gotten used to having Peggy just across the building and Lizella and Holly just a phone call away. That first leadership meeting without them will no doubt feel strange, because quite simply they've always been there for all of us. So to Peggy and Holly and Lizella, I say thank you for all you've done for not only our school system, but for me. Enjoy your newfound time with family and friends. I wish you peace, love, and Godspeed as you enter into this next very exciting chapter of your lives. But I should also admit to you that I have saved your phone numbers in case I need you. Congratulations to all 3 of you on your retirement. We certainly will miss you dearly. We appreciate you. Thank you. It's always a little emotional when, you know, I've been in the system for such a long time, and I know so many people, and if I know your work and I know the things that you've done, this time of year just always brings back those feelings that you have, and you sort of begin to realize that the voids that will be created as people begin to move on to their next phases. I think about Gail Jones. I've known Gail for forever. And so Beth Smith, you know, calling over to Eastside, I need the auditorium, please help me. Just all of those things that you take for granted that suddenly now will be changing. And so to all of you, thank you so very much for your service. Soon, most of you whom we are honoring here tonight will leave your respective schools or offices for the very last time. Some of you have already begun your retirement. With you will go the accumulated memories of the many years of service to the Newton County school system, times filled with work and laughter, memories of friendship, hardships and comfort, and hopefully memories filled with pleasure and pride. Those memories are inevitable and important to you, but what is most important to us, your coworkers and friends, is that we've had the privilege of knowing you and working with you. Having earned your retirement, we are delighted that you will finally be getting time for yourself. At the same time, we realize that when you leave, there will occur a very real and significant loss to the school system. You have been a part of what has made our school system the very solid educational institution that it is. We will miss you, and we are thankful of our time to work together. May God be with you, and may you enjoy many happy, healthy years of retirement. Thank you. Congratulations.